Hi guys. So I'm back to the first live stream format that I used, and I'm hoping that this means that the quality will be a little bit better. So, how is it? Hi guys. I'm glad that you made it. All right. It looks like I don't have any sound. Oh, thank you. Love the hair. Whoa, all I did was wash it, but thanks. Vid looks much better. Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Oh, good. I'm really glad that this is working out better. I think this is the way that we're gonna do this from now on. It seems to be a little nicer. Cool, cool, cool. Well, welcome to my live stream chat. You know what's funny is this is the third one I've done, but I always start these off just like a teensy bit nervous. I guess that's my whole shyness thing that I can't totally get rid of. It's gotten better though, so. And I really enjoy this, and as the discussion starts, I kind of mellow out a little bit. And what's nice for this time is I'm not totally done being sick. Oh, hey, Colleen. Nice to see you. And hello, Frederico. Greetings from the United States. No, not apple cider this time because I'm not ill anymore, so just flavored water because I know I need to drink water, but I can't seem to make myself drink it unless it tastes like, well, not water. I have to like trick myself. And greetings, Ettore. At least I hope that's how to pronounce your name. I get so many comments on this necklace and this bracelet, which my headphones are attached to. Awesome. And they're both gifts. With vodka? No, just one of those Mio little. It's a little bottle that has that little flavored water, and I think this one's black cherry, which is pretty tasty. Are you able to find ammo in Wisconsin now? Yes and no. There is ammo around. It's still a little hard to find 5.56 and 9mm, and well, some of the more popular, I guess, calibers. But what's still a struggle is that there are some people who go and buy ammo in bulk, and I have a hair on my mouth. That was really gross. Sorry, what I was saying was that there are some people who buy as much as they can get their hands on, and then they resell it, like on Gunbroker or whatever, because there are some people who are really desperate or who just don't know any better, and so they're kind of perpetuating the ammo shortage. I don't think that this is a problem just in Wisconsin. So I'm finding it more and more, but every time I go to Walmart, there's still only like 12 gauge, and that's like it, or maybe a couple of different big bore rifle calibers. But if I go really early, like at like 6, right when they're stocking their shelves, I have a little bit of an easier time getting a hold of it. What frustrates me is when I do go early, which I've only done it a few times because I am not a morning person. I hate mornings. I would sleep until like 2 in the afternoon every day if I could get away with it. But on the days that I decide that it's worthwhile to try and get my hands on some ammo, I'll get up really early, and I see these same freaking dudes, like 4 or 5 of them, and I recognize them now, and they're proud of themselves. They're like, yep, I'm here again. It's, 6 months now, every day or whatever, and they buy everything all the time. So it's a little frustrating because they just make the situation worse for everybody else who's like an average shooter and who just plain wants to grab a box of 9 to go plink, or like me, who my living is off of shooting and reviewing guns and making videos of shooting. So if I can't find ammo, it makes it really challenging. So it's forced me to be more creative and to be willing to shoot different calibers. So I just kind of buy whatever I can get my hands on at the time and try to make it work. But To the newcomers, hello, welcome to the convo. Go ahead and type me your questions or comments, and I will answer them as well as I can keep up with them. Oh, and hi Nate, I'm glad to see you made it. Alright, let's see here. There was a comment and it totally disappeared. Just a curiosity, how much do you pay for 308 ammo where you're from? It's like $20 for a box of 20, so it's like $1 around to get 308, which is more than I'd like to pay, but sometimes I want to shoot 308, so I just kind of bite the bullet, so to speak, and pay for it. I just got some the other day at Walmart. Actually, I found tull ammo for, it was like $9 for a box of 20, which is really nice. I rarely come across a deal like that. And even though it's a steel case stuff, I figured 308's 308. I'd rather have the tull ammo than had nothing, which is what I was shooting before. So, you know. I can get Blazer 9mm brass for about $2 a box. Your limit is 1 box per person. Ouch. At least at my Walmart, they limit it to 3 boxes a person. Sometimes I buy at Wisconsin Tactical or at Fletcher Arms, and the problem is, though, with Fletcher's is they just sell ammo for the range, but seeing as how like 99% of the time that I'm there to shoot, it ends up working out okay. They do limit it, though. They only will sell so much to you, even for the range. So, you know, you do what you can. Ultimately, I want to shoot, you know. Oh, hi, Randy. How this works is basically you put in your comments, and then there's generally not too bad of a lag. So then I'll read through them and answer them as well as I can keep up. $20 isn't too bad for 308 match grade. Yeah, but the $20 I was spending is not for match grade. It was just like your standard, I can't remember what brand it was. It was a little inflated. It wasn't horribly inflated, but That tull ammo deal was really nice, though. I mean, I don't care that it's steel. Haven't seen ammo at Walmart since January. Yeah, if I don't go early, I don't see it, except for like a couple of rifle calibers. Like I'll see 300 Winchester out there, but I don't have anything that shoots 300 Winchester, so I'm still kind of out of luck unless I'm willing to and really motivated to get up super early when they go and put the ammo on the shelves. And they don't have new stuff every day. They get stuff in pretty regularly, but like I said before, those same like 4 or 5 dudes are going in every day at like 5:30 and 6 in the morning and waiting until they put the ammo out at 7 and then buying it up immediately, or at 6:30 and buying it up immediately. So hey, One Bad, nice to see you here. You like the short range at Fletcher's? Yeah, I do like the short range at Fletcher's. I like both parts, both the longer range and the shorter range, but what's nice about the shorter range is it's just better for video recording. And part of it is because it's a little emptier more often, and the ventilation is a little nicer in there, and the lighting is better, so I just end up recording videos in there more often, but I like both parts. Let's see. How's it going? It's going pretty well, thank you. It's been it's just starting to warm up a little bit in Wisconsin, which I appreciate. But, do you like Vigilant Spectre? I haven't really seen a whole lot of his videos. I mean, I know he's out there. He's commented on a couple of my videos, which is pretty cool. But I don't know that I have I don't have enough experience with checking out his material to really have a feeling one way or the other. What's kind of funny is even though I make a lot of YouTube videos, I think I'm at like 280 or something crazy like that. Because I'm always busy making the YouTube videos, I don't watch as many as I did, at least when I got started. So I know on that blog, Every Day No Days Off, Mike seems to like to poke fun at Vigilant Spectre a lot, but that's about as far as my experience goes with him. I'm planning to execute my laptop and broken Wi-Fi router this weekend. Oh my goodness. So like those Richard Ryan Tech Assassin vids, those are fun. I'd probably want to use something really big, like if you have access to like a 50 cal, that would be fun. But it's always more fun to put bigger holes in things. But maybe that's just my personal preference. I mean, an AK will do just ducky if if you really got to poke holes and stuff. It's pretty good for that. I'm going old school. Do you recommend a male, female? Whoa, too many comments popping up. Do you recommend a male or female coach slash trainer for female shooters? I think it kind of comes down to the female. Personally, I get along with guys really, really well, so I've never had a problem learning from guys. But I do know a number of females who they either don't feel comfortable approaching a man to learn, about the shooting sports, and there are also females who just don't learn as well from men because they think differently. And to them, I would totally recommend look for a female trainer. But there are a lot of great guy trainers. Like Bob over at Fletcher Arms is one of the most patient coaches I've ever met. And he is excellent with both men and women. So I guess it's a little bit of an individual thing. Let's see here. I got like behind. AK it is. I can't afford a 50. Yeah, dude, me neither. But oh man, would I love one. I just got to, not too long ago, shoot the 50 cal owned by one of the guys over at Wisconsin Tactical, and I completely fell in love. That is one of my all-time favorite shooting experiences. Oh, I totally forgot to mention. Colleen is even on this chat. She is a female firearms trainer, and she is fabulous. I had a wonderful experience taking her defensive handgun course. One of the things I like about how she teaches is she's very good at tuning into what an individual needs. Because in the class that I took, there were shooters of a couple of different levels, and she was great at determining what those shooters needed from her, to absorb the information she was trying to give them, and to improve each shooter's level of expertise. So I think she does a great job with that. So if you want to hop on over to Keeping the Peace, that's her site. Oh, thank you, Colleen. I'm prejudiced on this. I only refer to female coaches. Hey, whatever trips your trigger, I'm all for whatever is going to help encourage new shooters to learn more about the shooting sports. Oh, so I think with these live streams, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with how they're working and with running them. So I kind of want to spread this and get more people involved and doing the conversations. So if you guys want to spread the word that I do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central or 8 p.m. Eastern, yada yada, plug a link to this site. new.livestream.com/FateofDestinee's. That should get you there. And I'm holding them every Tuesday. I think the max that we've had on one of these conversations is 117 people, which is totally, totally cool. But I'd like to see if we can't get more involved, I'd like to have Miss Budinsky in a class. She is one of my favorite characters because I don't really have to look far for material for her. I've known so many like anti-gun liberals who have said what that character says verbatim to me. So I don't even have to really make anything up. I just draw from my life experience. I think she'd really benefit from learning a little bit about firearms, though. I like doing videos with characters because they allow me to look into different aspects of the shooting sports and the different types of people who are learning about shooting or who are enjoying the shooting sports. And I'm a goofball, so I just like being silly and making characters up anyway. I don't know, maybe it comes from a lifetime of reading fiction, but I'm an imaginative individual. So that's fun for me. I don't think that'll ever be an element of my videos that goes away. I'm pretty sure I'll always have characters. Maybe new ones, maybe the same ones. Well, sorry. Like, are you, like, carrying a gun, like, right now? I totally am. Oh my gosh. Gun bimbo would be dangerous in a class. Yes. Yes. She would be. I would not feel comfortable shooting at a range with a gun bimbo. Not without having her having some serious instruction. Which, there are a lot of times where I'll go to, because most of the shooting I do is at public ranges, there are times where I'll go shooting and there are just complete newbies, and I totally support new people getting into the sport. I think that's awesome. But when there are new people who are at the range who are just, like, making blatant disregards to their safety and other safety, I can't help but to get nervous. I mean, nobody likes getting muzzled, especially not with live firearms. Hey, Wes, good to see you. But anyway, I'll go to the range officer or the range safety officer and, like, say something like, hey, I've been flagged, or these people in the lane down by mine are doing XYZ and it's making me uncomfortable. Because, I think everybody who's shooting at a public range deserves to have a safe, shooting experience. But it's not my job as another range goer to try and, teach everybody. And I don't think it's respectful to just go up to another person and be like, hey, this is how you should be shooting. But at the same time, I think safety is so, so, so important. So I choose to walk away, remove myself from the unsafe environment, and then contact the people who are in charge of range safety. So I've had to do that a couple of times. And if it's really, really just ridiculous and they're not paying attention, they're not listening to what the range officer has told them to do, I'll just leave. But I've only had to do that, like, twice in, like, 2 years, 3 years. So I guess it's one of the caveats of shooting at a public range. But where I live, it's easier to go to a public range than it is to try and go and find private land. Because I don't live in a super rural area, so there isn't a lot of just, like, large plots of land where you can go shooting. And even if there are, they're like farms. They don't have berms. It's not a place that you can, like, safely shoot. Not that they're not out there. It's just a matter of convenience. It's not as convenient to have to drive a couple hours out of my way or whatever. But, oh man, I just got like 20 comments at one time. Okay, let me catch up, guys. Are you going to be doing more vids about situational awareness stuff? Yes, absolutely. I have a couple of videos in progress right now that have everything to do with situational awareness. So keep an eye out. I'll also have articles associated with those too on thearmsguide.com. Alrighty. What is your exposure to Rock River Arms? Also, do you know what's going on with the new Poly 1911? It was supposed to come out last year. I know of them, and I've had a couple people recommend that I look into them, but I haven't seen a whole lot of them at the places where I normally go to buy guns. So I don't have any experience with them. But they're on my list. If I ever come across one personally, I'd definitely like to learn more about it, put a few rounds through one. But have you ever made a smiley face? No. I've made a whole lot of progress, especially in the last 2 years since I started doing videos, because I have that wonderful record of my skill in those videos. But I'm not at that level. My dad is, though, and he'll do it just to, like, tease me because he's a better marksman than I am. So anytime I ever try to get some kind of ego about, how awesome of a shooter I am, all I have to do is look at his lane, and then I get put right back down in my place. So I don't have any ego whatsoever attached to my shooting ability, or lack thereof, in comparison to some people. It's like with martial arts. There's always going to be somebody better than you. But that's not something that I find discouraging. In fact, I find it inspirational because I want to be as good of a shooter as my dad. Oh, by the way, I do have my dad here. Next to me. He's just tuning in. He's my producer slash helper slash funder. I don't know. He helps me out a ton with the videos. I can't help but to rope in a lot of my family members because these have become such a huge production, or my videos have become such big productions that, well, it's nice to be able to have my family's help. They end up being like family projects sometimes. Like, my dad and I have worked on music together. We've worked on videos together. It's fun. It makes it more enjoyable that I can have that activity with them, just like shooting is a family activity. Now videos are also a family activity. It's cool. Colleen, my dad says he agrees with you about how I shoot, and thank you. All right, let's get caught up with some comments. Dad, Colleen says hi. He says hi back. All right. Hey, Destinee, I had a friend take a basic pistol class recently in Montana. Opinions on cross-state concealed carry permits. Should a permit be good in all states or just that state or a few states? That's a good question. I think it would be convenient, so I support the idea of having cross-state permits, especially because I travel, and I don't like the idea of having to, like every time I go through Illinois, I have to disarm and, you know, separate my ammo and my firearm and make it all secure and lock it all down and everything. And not only is it a hassle and it's an inconvenience, but I also don't feel as safe without having that option, that tool for self-defense, you know? So I think it would be wonderful if we could have some, like, all-encompassing permit, like at a federal level, that would allow me to take whatever safety course or whatever training requirements, and then have a permit that would be valid or recognized in all states. I think that'd be great. Dad, everybody says sup. Okay. So drive around Illinois. Yeah, I could, but if I have to go to Indiana, that sure does add a whole lot of hours onto my trip. Yeah, I agree with Colleen. The right to protect oneself is an inherent or a God-given or natural right. The Constitution, the Second Amendment, protects that right. It doesn't grant it. So it's already an extant ability that everybody has, but it's not recognized everywhere. All right. Go through Michigan. I hear Mackinac is cool. I have been to Mackinac Island, and it is awesome. I haven't been in a long, long time. I went as a kid, but I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of neat stuff to see. I love traveling. I go on a lot of road trips. There are still a lot of states that I haven't been to yet, but Michigan's one of them I have been to. So, out of curiosity, what states are being represented here? Obviously, you guys know that I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm curious where you guys are from. Some people say that once you have a gun, you just can't live without one. Do you think this is true? Can you go without carrying a gun? Once I started carrying my firearm, there was an initial period of, I keep getting attached to these headphones. There was an initial period of adjustment where I felt like, oh, cool. Michigan, West Virginia, Arizona, Maryland, more Wisconsin, Arizona, far, far away. Yes, you are from far, far away. Originally from Wisconsin, now in Missouri, Tennessee, stationed in Virginia, California. Wow, California, Florida, Minnesota. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Ohio, awesome. New Hampshire. Well, very, very cool. I totally lost track of what I was saying. Oh, I remember. I was talking about there was an initial period of adjustment where I was doing a lot of like tugging my shirt, around just to make sure that it was covering everything. Or I would even like try to like shift my holster so that it felt more comfortable, or that I don't know, felt like it was concealing better. There's just this weight in your mind of like, oh wow, there's this firearm right on me. It's on my person. Oh, what if somebody sees it? Or I don't know. It feels like such a huge like weight on your consciousness at first. And the weight of responsibility doesn't go away. That's still there. But it's now become something that's so commonplace to me. I'm I'm used to having it on me, and I don't look at a firearm as that silver bullet for self-defense, that I have a gun on me so I'll be safe no matter what. I'm not delusional, but I do recognize that a firearm is a self-defense tool that helps me better my odds of surviving a self-defense situation should I ever encounter one. So yeah, I definitely prefer having it on me. There are occasions where, like, if I have to go to the post office, I'm not allowed to carry in a post office, so I'm not going to carry where it's illegal for me to carry. But pretty much outside of those strict laws of where I'm not allowed to carry, I carry. There are occasions where I have had to go without it, and it does feel uncomfortable, and I don't feel as secure because I feel like I'm well down my ability to defend myself is lessened. I mean, I'm a female. I'm not particularly huge. I'm like 5'6", 140. If some like huge dude wants to attack me for whatever reason, I'm realistic in knowing that there's only so much that I can do. Like, yes, I've got, what is it, like 17 years of martial arts, but that's not a silver bullet either. Just because I have skills and I have tools doesn't mean that I'll just de facto be able to survive whatever situations I may find myself in. But knowing my limitations, I definitely want to put all of the tools in my arsenal possible to be able to improve my odds. All right. Do you ever ankle carry, and do you ever carry to family functions? I always carry to family functions. Yeah. Most people don't know that I'm carrying, and I don't really go around talking about it a whole lot. I mean, in this format, in this community of other people who are interested in firearms, I talk about, yes, I do conceal carry, but the majority of my family doesn't carry. If they're shooters, it's more because they're hunters. My nuclear family, we all shoot together. Excuse me. And so I talk with them a whole lot about firearms, and I spend a whole lot of time with my nuclear family, so I get to enjoy my love of the shooting sports with them. The other part of that, ankle carry. I have not yet ankle carried. I did just recently get a holster for that so that I can try it out and maybe do a little talking about it for a review on YouTube and on the Arms Guide, but I don't have experience with it up to this point. It is something that I'd like to practice though and learn more about and see if I can't work it into my rotation just to have one more option, for just in case I can't have the waistband for whatever reason or something. I like to have as many options as possible, even though I have my favorites, I guess. All right, there was a question about what is your brother doing? He is a combat engineer, and he has been deployed to Afghanistan, and he has qualified as a 240 Bravo gunner, so I'm really, really proud of him. Definitely a little, I don't know, nervous. I can't help but to be a big sister and to worry about my brother being far away from home and to be in a country that is not exactly friendly to Americans. But I couldn't be more proud of how he has made the choice to serve our country and that he's a really great soldier and he's good at what he's doing. I'm glad that he's out there doing what he loves and that he can help to better better our nation through his service. I think that's really wonderful, and I admire him for having made that sacrifice. All right, I have Dad on to say hi. I can't get him on camera for the life of me. I have been trying for over 2 years now. He won't do it. He just doesn't want to be on camera. He says he'd rather like kind of sit behind the scenes, and I mean, I've had him in like 3 videos where it's like maybe him from like the side or the back, but like actually sitting on camera, like he won't do it. Even my brother, it's like pulling teeth to get him to be in a video. He just doesn't like it. I mean, what's funny is that my brother is way more outgoing than I am. Not that I don't like people, because I do, but he is, well, he's just not hampered by being shy like I am. But he still doesn't want to be on camera with me, so it's kind of funny. Lately, though, I've gotten him in a little bit more, or the last like year, I've gotten him in a little bit more videos. Eventually, I'd like to get him in more, but I'll have to wait for him to come back, so. 1911 versus Glock. Oh, man. I don't think that there is a single best firearm. I think what works, especially in the realm of concealed carry, is so subjective. Because what might work great for me may not work great for you. So I don't think that it's in the realm of possibility to say that Glock is better or 1911 is better. I mean, if you're looking at a person who maybe they buy a 1911 and they buy a Glock and they shoot both every day of the week, and they are 10 times out of 10 bullseyes with that Glock and 5 times out of 10 bullseyes with the 1911, maybe the Glock is better for them. Personally, I have a hard time with the ergonomics of the Glock. So I'm not saying that Glocks are a bad pistol. Don't buy them. I mean, they have the reputation that they've established over the past 25 years for a reason. But that being said, I struggle more to be as accurate with a Glock than I do with a 1911. So I enjoy shooting 1911s more because I do it better. But eventually I'll probably end up purchasing a Glock. And I know there are plenty of people who shoot their Glocks way better than I shoot my 1911s. So I guess I can't say that either one's better. What's your favorite gun to shoot at this point, regardless if you own it or not? Recently got to shoot a Barrett 50 cal, and oh my gosh, I am in love with that thing. And I have a vid coming up on it, so you'll get to see me put my first 2 rounds through it. Des, did you ever get a Harley to go along with your knife? No, I would totally love one. Being in Wisconsin, there are a whole lot of Harleys out here, so I get to listen to them rumbling down the road all the time. And they just look cool, but there's no way I can afford one of those. Besides, if I saved up for a Harley, imagine how many guns I could be buying. So, do I carry a 1911 cocked and locked with round in the chamber? I do. I don't always carry my 1911, but because that is one of the few firearms that I have the most confidence in my ability to wield, I choose to carry that very frequently. And I find it preferable to have that at the ready. And so I keep the manual safety on, definitely, but I don't want to have to take the time to chamber around. I think it's already enough that I have to disengage the safety as I draw. So I do carry cocked and locked with a round in the chamber. What do you guys carry? I'm sure there's a neat spread of different firearms. This is how I reasoned for the last year. Whenever some money came my way, I always sorted it in amount of guns. Yup, that is the gun bug, and I can't help but to have been bitten by it. It is too much of a fun sport to not want to do it more. If you get a Harley, we can ride together. Dude, that would be so awesome. I would love to. It's one of those, like, dream goals. One day, I will have a Harley. I really like their 48s. That came out was a couple years ago. I love them. I think they're fabulous, and I really want one, but yeah, still quite far down in the distant horizon of what I can actually purchase. But so let's see, we got a Springfield EMP, 6-hour P938. I just recently shot a 938 for the first time. Recoil was snappy, but you know, what do you expect with a pistol that small? It wasn't unmanageable though. M&P Shield. Emma wants to say hi to Aries. Aries is sleeping, which is what he does like 80% of the time. The other 20% of the time, he is being crazy because he thinks he's still a puppy and wants to play all the time. Car PM9, Sig Sauer and 40. Colt Commander 1911, you have excellent taste, sir. P228, also fabulous. I used to not like the Glock grip till I actually bought one and shot it more. Now I love them. I do prefer the 19 and the 26 over the 17. I do have a little bit better luck with the smaller frames, but I still don't do as well with them. I do a little bit better with the 26 than with the 19, a little better with the 19 than the 17, so maybe smaller is better for me in terms of like grip size. Maybe it's just because my hands are a little smaller. That's the thing, like my hands are big for a chick, but I still have like girl size hands. I'm still smaller than most guys' hands. So I find a lot of difference in what I can wield in comparison to what a lot of my male firearms enthusiast friends can wield. Well, the problem with shooting smaller guns is a lot of times the recoil is a little punchier, so, or snappier, more muzzle flip to deal with. So it's there's got to be a balance in the firearms that I purchase, because if I want to shoot it a lot, I want to like shooting it, so I shoot it more. Although I do sometimes develop a desire to purchase a firearm, even though it's a little more like uncomfortable to shoot, because with guns like the XDS-45, which by the way isn't that bad, it pushes more back, but it's not as much fun to shoot as, say, a Springfield 1911A1 loaded. For me, obviously, it's a personal preference. But I'm not going to carry the Springfield 1911A1 loaded as often as I carry the XDS. So I still find value in taking it to the range, practicing with it, because I choose to, you know, entrust my life to it. So I want to know that I'm proficient, even if it isn't as much fun. But ultimately, the shooting sports for me, while it does definitely offer me an avenue for self-defense and, you know, protection by having a concealed carry firearm on me, I also just plain like the shooting sports, and I enjoy shooting. So if that makes me want to go and shoot more and become more proficient, then I sometimes end up leaning towards guns that I just like to shoot, not so much practical self-defense pistols. But that's how I don't know, justify my gun purchases. I'm certainly not going to say that it's wrong or bad or, I don't know, inadvisable for somebody to have only self-defense minded firearms purchases. I think it's different for every person, but for me, I happen to like shooting. I can't help myself. All right. Let me get, have you ever fired a Beretta PX4 Storm? I have, in 9mm. I really liked it. At first I thought it felt a little bit top heavy because that slide is so huge, but it was fun. It might be something that I might purchase down the road. It's not on the top of my list, but I had a positive experience with it. Aries is always asleep. Yes, he is, like 80% of the time asleep, and is usually asleep like on me. What's funny is writing for the Arms Guide, I have a desk with my computer on it, and I you know, write an article a day pretty much, so I'm always sitting there, and he is such an attention hound. He'll come up next to me, and he'll like shove his head on my lap, and I'm trying to like type around him or over him, but if I don't give him enough attention while I'm working, he sits next to me and he pouts. And if I'm still, you know, ignoring him because heaven forbid I have work to do, he falls asleep on my feet. It's really cute though. He's a mama's boy, and I absolutely love it. My dad says I spoil him. So Aussie Wombat, how's the video coming in way out yonder in the land down under? All right, I'm catching up on some comments here. Oh, hey Steve, nice to see you. Oh man, I got way behind in comments here. Ever shoot a Tech 9? I have not shot a Tech 9. I have seen a few of them for sale, like especially at gun shows, but I haven't actually put any rounds through them. I have shot a Mac 11 though, which was pretty freaking cool, I gotta say. I was in full auto. So, question for you guys. Do you have a summer carry and a winter carry? In Wisconsin, it ends up being, well, pretty convenient to carry something really large during like 8 months out of the year because we have like an 8-month long winter. But during the summer, carrying those big old pistols is kind of hard to work around. But I wonder in places, especially more southward than the frosty north up here, do you just have like a year-round carry, or how do you work it? I have a Dalmatian mix that sits on my shoulder. That sounds heavy. Video quality is really good this morning, much better than last week. Oh, good. I think I'm going to stick with this particular format. It seems to work better, so. I appreciate the feedback, though. This is definitely a learning process. In Arizona, it's always summer carry. Yeah, I imagine so. Okay, here is a little bit of a longer question, but I think it's an important one to address. Do you think gun control craziness is due to mass hysteria? I think that every time that there is recent like shooting in the news, like the tragedies in Sandy Hook or in Aurora, it definitely adds fuel to that gun control fire, if you will. What I find unfortunate is that events like those, get so much more media attention than when somebody avoids some disaster through having a firearm, a self-defense firearm on them. I think that there is definitely a slant in the media, at least it is out here in the United States, where when it is possible to put use of firearms in a negative light, it seems to just get so much more public attention rather than self-defense uses of a firearm that saves lives. But after the flare-ups of any shooting, it does seem to kind of calm down after a few months. I don't think that evil in this world is ever just going to disappear, and just not be a factor. I think there's always going to be some sort of tragedy occurring now and then. And if it's not with firearms, it'll be like with Timothy McVeigh with bombs, or like the Boston Marathon. People who have ill will in their hearts are always going to find a way to enact the suffering they want to bring to mankind. And we're always going to have to deal with it. That's part of why I choose to carry a firearm, because I like the option of improving my odds to survive an encounter with someone who wishes to do me ill. It's just, we can't ever legislate against evil. We can't legislate against crazy people who want to hurt others. I mean, we can definitely put laws out there and hope that people will follow them. And, the vast majority of society, I think, does follow laws. We're not, we have... I'm trying to find a politically correct way of saying this. There are always going to be others out there who want to hurt people, and they don't care about the laws out there. If they want to hurt people, they're going to do it. Like with Sandy Hook, Lanza murdered his mother. Isn't that breaking the law already? It's horrible. There's nothing not tragic about that shooting. But there were already laws in place that should have prevented him. They didn't. Laws don't prevent crime. They just punish it. I'd like to have the option of protecting myself from crimes in advance, before they happen to me. All right. Have you taken the time to enjoy a Guinness, a cigar, and a bonfire yet this summer? Nice, happy question. I've gotten a couple of cigars. Haven't had the time to go out and enjoy them yet. I have had a few Guinnesses though. I don't. I'm not the typical. I've never been the typical like college student go out and party really hard. I think a large part of that is my social anxiety. I don't find parties really fun. I usually find them just really, really stressful. But I also don't really drink in excess. I usually only, put a couple of cold ones back after dinner or in good company, like, with my dad, my brother, just chilling out. Um, that's been actually just last week I got to enjoy a couple of brews with my fam. So it's nice. I haven't gotten to have a bonfire yet though. I keep meaning to bring out some of the firewood and get one cracking, but I've been really busy lately. All right. Haven't had a cigar in quite a while. Sounds good. Yeah, I have some that are gonna go stale if I don't smoke them soon, but I don't know. I'll get around to it. I have never had a Cuban. Yeah, lucky you. um, what does your dad carry? I've actually done a video with my dad's carry gun. He has a couple different options, but I think his favorite is the pistol that I absolutely adore. It's a Sig Sauer P226 Platinum Elite in 9mm, and it is gorgeous. It's kind of a bling gun because it's a two-tone where it has that those shiny aluminum grips and or grip because it's a one-piece grip. But it's really sweet looking, and it shoots like a champ. I really like the short resetting trigger on it. It's nice. The grip is a little bit big for me, like from back to front, but it's still a really awesome pistol. But oh man, he shoots like a boss with that thing. It's funny because like I'll be shooting it because he'll let me shoot his guns sometimes. And just when I think, oh yeah, look at what I can do with this, he'll take it, oh yeah, that's cool, bam, 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 all in one hole at like, 50 feet or whatever. Like I said, he puts me in my place anytime I start getting some kind of ego about how well I can shoot. Alright. Hey, is the whole electronic cigarette thing happening in the US as well? It is. And I have a couple of friends who have, I guess it's not, they call it quitting smoking by switching to the electronic cigarettes because they work differently, but they're out there. Vaping has become more popular too. That's not something I've tried. Well, actually, I haven't tried the electronic cigarettes either, but at least I have friends who have tried them, so I've seen them. I am vaping right now. Yeah, see, I know a couple of people out there. I'll bring the s'mores. Oh man, it sounds like it's a bonfire. Let's go. I love s'mores. I have a problem though if I'm not neat in like anything that I do. Like my work, anytime I'm working on a project, it's always got to be like around me, which applies to pretty much everything I do, whether it's a school project or a video or I'm doing laundry. It's always got to be like everywhere all around me. It drives my family crazy because I am not neat. Well, this also applies to eating s'mores. Most of the s'mores end up on my hands, and then just a little bit gets into my stomach. I'm really bad at that. So sometimes I'll just like poke my sister until she makes me one. Like, please, please, please. Do you aim with one eye or both? That's an awesome question. I am left eye dominant, but I shoot with both eyes open. And I do use both eyes when I shoot. The majority of that alignment of the sights, though, is done with my left eye. But judging where the target is and watching my peripherals, I do largely with my right eye. So it's a two-eye process, but most of the aiming I do with my left eye, if that made sense. Did you have a good time with the Google Hangout with One Bad Marine? Yes, absolutely. It was great fun, and I got to chat with some of the YouTubers who I watch, so that was pretty rad. I would definitely want to do another Google Hangout sometime down the road. part of my problem with trying to meet up and do events like Google Hangouts is the fact that I am busy. I mean, I've got the arms guide that I'm managing, and I'm bringing on new writers, which is awesome. By the way, I'm really stoked about that. And then I write every day pretty much for that site, and then I've got my site FateofDestinee's.com, and then I've got the YouTube videos that I publish, and then I've got Young Guns releases in what is it, like 3 days now, which I'm super stoked for that. You guys totally have to stop by YoungGunsTV.com, check it out, count down with me. Obviously I'm one of the contributors, but a lot of the YouTubers that I totally love their videos will also be on Young Guns. Like Colia Noir is a Young Guns contributor. Tim from the Military Arms channel is a Young Guns contributor. There are a bunch of other people. Stop by the site, stop by their Facebook, and you can see some more of the people who are going to be on there. But I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really neat platform for generating content about the shooting sports and all of that gun fun that I love. So, should be really cool. Actually, I just recorded a video for Young Guns last night, and it won't show up on YouTube. It will be a Young Guns exclusive. Some of the content that I produce will be only for Young Guns. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be making YouTube videos, because I love making YouTube videos, so I'm totally going to continue doing it. I guess it depends on, well, how well it works out, how it grows. That will change how much time I put into Young Guns versus YouTube. Do you think it would be better if every sane person would carry a gun? Actually, I totally have a video coming up on this, so stay tuned. And awesome question. Let's see. What do you like to use to clean your pistols? I'm not really, I don't know, a gun cleaner snob or whatever you want to call it. I don't have too much of a preference because in my experience, a lot of them will get the job done. It just kind of, sometimes it'll take more time to do it one way than another. But I'll use whatever's around. I use CLP, I use Hops number 9, or Hoppies number 9 if you prefer saying it that way. I've used Ballistol. I have some frog lube, but I haven't actually gotten around to trying it out. So I'll try any gun cleaner, if I have it accessible to me, but I don't really have a preference. If it gets the pistol clean by the end of the time I'm cleaning it, then I figure that's good enough. Let's see here. Let's get caught up. I would love to get into gun reviews and ammo reviews. Do you have any tips for someone getting into the YouTube world? Yeah, actually. First recommendation I would have is if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Because it is so easy to get burnt out trying to make videos because you feel like you have an obligation to make videos. It is a long process to try and get any measure of success on YouTube. And the AdSense revenue is a horrible business model. So it's not something that's really going to be a really great money maker. And the people who are making money, like hand over fist on YouTube, they're generally not in the firearms world. They're people with like entertainment channels like Ray William Johnson or Nigahiga or something like that, because the firearms world is such a small portion of YouTube overall. And there are so many like hands in the pot for what AdSense revenue can go around. So if it's going to be something that you're going to do because you expect it to be a job and a great source of income, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to get frustrated faster than people who do it for fun but still run it smartly. I make videos because I enjoy making videos, and as soon as it stops being fun, I'm done. That being said, I mean, I have been able to make a little bit of income with it, but it took 2.5 years, and it's still not something that is a major source of income for me. My main like job or my main source of income is my writing, which I absolutely adore, and I'm very grateful for having that opportunity to work on the Arms Guide and to work on FateofDestinee.com. But if I didn't have that gig, I wouldn't be able to make this my full-time gig. YouTube alone isn't enough. So I guess my long rant or tirade aside, if you want to do videos because you enjoy it and you want to share your love of the shooting sports, that is awesome. Get great lighting and have fun with it. The more fun that you're having with it, if you make videos that you like to watch, it's so much better, or you have so much better chance of other people enjoying your videos. And if you're not yourself, people will see through it really, really quickly, and they get disinterested. Like, when I first started making videos, I was severely just crippled by my shyness and social anxiety. And so I developed these coping mechanisms of grinning and, like, giggling, because that's how I deal with being nervous. I can't help myself. It's like one of my first responses to being uncomfortable is to start smiling and then to start, like, laughing. Even when things aren't really funny, I just be, laughing, because that helps me relieve the tension. The problem is, it makes me look like a crazy person. So if you don't know me and you don't know that I am painfully shy, both on camera and off camera, it just looks like I'm either trying to put on some sort of weird act, or it looks like I am just a Looney Tune. And I have a lot of comments on my earlier videos of people who are calling me out for it and being like, wow, why are you grinning all the time? You're not talking about anything funny. What is wrong with you? So if you're trying to be what you think you should be, people seem to, not like it as much. You can't just turn on a camera and talk about a gun, because anybody can do that. Why should people take the time out of their day to watch your video? You have to, like, offer something that nobody else can offer, something special. For me, it's, myself. I am me, and some people seem to like that. Not everybody does, but the fact that there are people who do is super, super cool, and I enjoy that interaction that I get from them. So that fuels me to want to make more videos, and I think it makes the videos that I do better, because I get to just share my enthusiasm with other people who are enthusiastic about the same stuff. FPS Russia, he makes money, but he's still not like a Hollywood star. I guess he's the most recognized in our little slice of YouTube, but he's not like filthy rich. He's not buying mansions in LA or anything. And he's the biggest YouTube channel that might be considered like a crossover between the firearms world and the entertainment world. But channels like, there are other YouTube channels who are just like entertainment, like Tobey Maguire, that are bigger than his. So it's not a way to, like, get rich quick. And when you consider FPS has been making videos for several years, and he's got a background of producing videos on video games for a long time, and he already had an established, like, fan base and a huge following before he started crossing over into the more firearms related videos. So he's got a lot of time invested, a lot of money invested to get up to the point that he is, or where he is. I like to watch older vids to see how far she's come. Oh, I'm glad that you actually like those. Some of my old videos I look back on, I go, oh, that's not good. Because I'm so nervous, I can't hardly spit out but one sentence at a time. And so I, like, chop it up and try to put one whole video of a whole lot of individual sentences together. It's incredible for me to be able to look at the progress, though, that I've made, namely with the social anxiety. The fact that I could do this live video, it's not something that I would have even dreamed of 3 years ago. I actually had somebody approach me in the first year or so of having a YouTube channel and ask me if I would be interested in hosting a live show like this, like once a month. and I couldn't do it. I was so overwhelmed and intimidated. I eventually I told them that I wasn't able to do it, and I backed out of the arrangements that we were making. But here I am, you know, every week chatting with you guys, and I absolutely love it. And like I mentioned when I got started, I still get a little bit nervous, like when I get like rolling. But after I start talking with you, I mean, I can talk about guns all day. That gets easy. Um, Ooh, I carry on a daily basis, but I also want a really good yet affordable carry knife. Thoughts? I love blades. Not quite as much as I like firearms, partly because, I mean, using them doesn't have the same, well, it's not as much fun. But I still definitely an aficionado. Like, I like this guy, the Triage, the 915 Benchmade Triage. The thing with Benchmades is they're nice knives. They use quality steel and quality materials, and I find they perform for a long time. But they're not exactly cheap. One of the, if you're looking for like affordable, let's see, where's that? These guys, the Cold Steels, I think they're a really good compromise between having an affordable blade and a quality blade. So you can find a pretty decent knife for between like 50 to 150 if you're buying Cold Steel. A lot of time they definitely have more expensive ones and they have cheaper ones, but you can get some pretty like useful everyday carry blades. Like this holdout is I think 140 MSRP, but you can probably get it at like $50 off if you can if you're willing to shop around. I buy knives online almost exclusively because that's how I find the best deals. But if you're willing to spend a little bit more, like actually there's one of my first everyday carry Benchmades, the Mini Griptilian, which I don't have on me at the moment, but it still has a very similar blade. It was only like $90, and that thing was a real trooper. It did, or it does, so much for my like everyday needs, from opening plastic packaging to slicing cheese. Like it's very handy, and that steel is like 154 cm, so it's a really useful, decent quality steel. You just have to make sure that you don't, if you get it wet, you dry it off, because it's not super good on the corrosion resistance. This guy though, this N680, this is great with corrosion resistance. This is an environmental use steel, so like you can use it underwater or in like salt water. I mean, obviously it is an iron-based metal, and eventually it will rust, but this guy will do a lot better at resisting corrosion than like 154, for example. Or this one is AUS 8A, and I have issues with it resisting corrosion too. I have to keep it dry, otherwise it starts rusting like around where I touch it most, it seems. But it's really, really strong, and it holds an edge for like forever, so I still get a whole ton of use out of this guy. But yeah, I'm kind of a knife geek, I'm sorry. I'll talk about that a lot too. Can you post a vid of that Elzetta flashlight and that SRT4? I have an Elzetta flashlight on me right now. It's pretty bright. I find this to be surprisingly convenient. I use it a lot more than I thought I would. I mean, initially I wanted it for the whole self-defense applications, but it's just practical to have a flashlight on me pretty frequently. I mean, if I'm going to be in the dark ever. But yeah, I do plan on doing a more thorough review. I've featured this in a couple of videos, but I will have something more thorough and complete coming up, because I have a couple of these, and they have serviced me very well as far as being a tack light. Dang, that girl got a machete in her pocket. Oh yeah, this guy, it's like a 4-inch blade. But it's only like 4 ounces, so I don't even notice that I'm carrying it more often than not. Once in a while, though, it's too big for my pocket, so I'll end up having to carry it in a back pocket instead of my front pocket, which is kind of funny. Let's see. I'm getting caught up on comments here. Have you done a review on the cold steel brush yet? No, but I do have one planned. That thing is really cool. It's called the Honeycomb, and if I carry like an actual purse, which I usually carry just like a wallet on a chain, but if I carry a purse, it's always on me. Have you ever fired an FAL? I have not. I'd like to try one though. I have shot a SCAR though, and I absolutely love it. But for how much money I have to spend to get a SCAR, it's a little further down on the horizon, on the purchasing horizon for me. I do like them though. What happened to the feed? It jumped back to, for me, it jumped back to the being nervous 3 years ago. I do not know. Well, for me, it's still streaming pretty steadily, so I'm not sure. Speaking about knives, opinions on the K-bar. Got one many years ago. Love the K-bar. That's like basically my dedicated camping knife. Pretty much anytime I go camping, I bring the K-bar and I bring the Benchmade 275 Adamas, because that thing is a trooper. But it's a folder instead of being a fixed blade like the K-bar. But that K-bar, it may not get that 1095 high carbon steel, may not hold an edge, as fine of an edge as, like, say, a US 8A. But holy shoot, man, that stuff is some hardy steel. It resists quite a beating. I use it for, like, cutting up brush for a campfire, like all sorts of stuff. I've also cooked with it, which is kind of fun. It performs really, really solidly. The finish on it is not super long lasting. Like it definitely, you'll definitely see it come off, scratch off from wear. But the steel itself is real hardy. So as long as you keep it dry, like you would want to do with any high carbon steel, I think it's a good blade for the money. But that's why it's become a standard for me. Right. It rewinds if your connection slows down so you don't have a gap in the content because it's sending the vid live. It's for your benefit. That's what my dad is telling me. Okay, getting caught up again. Love the SOG Tactical Tomahawk. I totally have one of those too, and I have used it, brought it camping. I didn't have as much success with it as I thought I would though, so the video that I was planning on doing didn't work out, so I will have to do a different video in the future. Let's see. I'm getting caught back up, sorry guys. Hey, doesn't the Milwaukee area have a 3-inch blade limit? I believe it does, but I don't live in Milwaukee, so normally I'm pretty okay with that. And one of the things about the blade length limit in Wisconsin overall is that it's subjective. I have a concealed carry permit, so I'm allowed to carry knives and a taser and firearms as I decide, or as I choose. But the concealed carry permit doesn't specify the length of blade to which you are limited. What it comes down to, or I've talked with some police officers, and what they have told me is that it kind of comes down to the individual. If, like, they're pulling over some, like, I don't know, wannabe gangster kid who's got like some long rap, they might look at him carrying a blade and having a long blade length as being more of a negative. But the permit that I have does not have a specific limit on it, so that's why I have a 4-inch blade. And I don't really spend time in Milwaukee, so it's not something that I really have to be concerned about. And I have a large number of different knives that I'll carry at any one point in time. As my EDC, I have a couple of specific dedicated self-defense knives, and those stay pristine. I don't use them for anything but the, well, actually I've never used them in self-defense, but they stay in case of self-defense uses, and I don't use them for like an everyday carry. They don't vary. But my EDC knives, I'll carry anything between, like a 2-inch blade up to like a 4-inch blade. What I would recommend is, if you're not sure about what the specific laws are in your area, talk to a lawyer. because I'm not a professional, and I do research before I go in any place, or I go travel somewhere where I'm worried, or I'll just completely leave something that I'm not sure about at home. But I'm not your end all be all source for information. Don't make me that, because I'm not a professional. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, a policy maker that I would that my word on whatever laws there are is law. But all right, let's find another question. You tried to mix it up with the videos to entertain viewers. Flash dance, that was too funny with the message. I had a blast doing that video. I was laughing like the entire time we were producing that video. Part of it was like my hair, where I used literally, like, I bought a can of hairspray that was this big. I used half the can of hairspray for one like night of having really huge poofy hair. Apparently my hair doesn't like to be big. Like, this is my natural, like, I don't straighten my hair, it's just naturally really straight. So to try and make my hair curl and to try to make it be poofy and huge took like a ton of curling iron time and a ton of hairspray, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I think Molly might be my favorite character up to this point. She's just sassy and vivacious, and I find her to be entertaining, so I like that. What age did your dad get you started, and what did he teach you with? Well, I learned safe firearms handling, probably about, I think I was 7 or 8. I think it was 7. And, I did a little bit of shooting. I had shot with BB guns first, pellet guns, and then I moved up to, my dad he still has it, a Ruger Mark III Target. That's what the model is. And I still shoot that one. I only just recently got better at controlling the 22. I seem to do better generally with 45 than with 22. I guess I anticipate, and then I don't have any recoil, but anyway, my dad started me then, and then I did this turkey shoot with a youth-size shotgun when I was 7, and it really surprised me, the recoil of it, and, well, because it surprised me, I cried, and my grandfather, who was the one who took me to the turkey shoot, felt really awful, and then I felt really bad for disappointing him because he was so excited, and then I just ended up not wanting to shoot, at least not long guns, for a while, and I stuck to like my BB guns and then shooting 22 with my dad. But when I turned 21, I realized, oh shoot, I'm old enough, I can buy my own handgun, holy cool. And I got my first pistol, which was the Kimber Sys Pro 1911, and completely fell in love with the shooting sports, and pretty much haven't looked back since then. I did get some, flashlight training with Brandon LaBouffe. I got a little bit of flashlight training with Brandon LaBouffe, and his opinion is that it also affects strobing flashlight training. I'm sorry, I wasn't specific. His opinion is that it affects the carrier indoors. Like, if it reflects, it can be distracting to have that light strobing you as well as it's strobing your attacker. Sorry, there was like a little floaty thing in front of my screen. It was distracting. But anyway, I haven't gotten a whole ton of practice with that, but that was the opinion that he shared with us at the Second Amendment shoot that Corey and Erica hosted at their range. Excuse me. I am, like, talking is really dry work, so I need some water here. Ah. Much better. Alright. Do you skeet shoot? Actually, the first time that I went skeet shooting was with NSZ85, who is on this chat here. And it was so much fun. I really enjoyed that experience. I still need to do some more. I shot my dad's shotgun, which is a Remington 870 tactical, and I really enjoy it. I like pump action shotguns, and I can wield it well, but the problem is the stock is too long for my reach, so I end up being like way out here with it. And it's a little inconvenient, and it makes me a little bit slower because I have a hard time. I don't manage it as easily as I would if I could keep it in close to me. But you should check out the video I did, the collaboration video I did with NSC 85. I think it was fun. I had an awesome time. He let me shoot his shotgun too, and it was just a great time overall. All of us shooting. We're gonna have to do that again. And Nate is actually on this chat here. All right. Thanks for answering all my questions. Have a great week, night. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that you took some time to sit and chat with us. What was it like shooting on Hickok's range? Awesome. It's totally awesome. What's fun about Hickok is he is exactly the same in person as he is on his videos. Like, there's no change from when the camera's on or off. I get a little bit more relaxed generally when I'm not on camera, but actually I'm relaxed now, so this is all the Destinee that there is. But so with hanging out with him and his son Big John, they're just super pleasant, super laid back, and they genuinely just enjoy shooting. They're very easy to talk with, and I think that was my first experience of shooting any steel, was shooting at his range, and that is super rewarding, having that the ping of the steel. I love that. Alright, sorry, it looks like I had a little bit of a hiccup in my streaming, but I think we're all kosher again. What earphone are you using? Actually, these are my running headphones, because these are the ones that I use the most. And I don't remember the brand of them, but they stick in my ears really well. I think they were like an Ironman competition winner went and designed them, so they're sport headphones, so they stick in your ears really well, even when you're like running and sweating and everything. Yeah, I had a little bit of a lag in, I guess it was my connection, so there might be a little bit of lag in the video. Does he start every sentence with Hickok 45 here in real life? No, he does not. But his manner of speech, his very dry sense of humor, that's just him. That's just Hickok. He's very cool. We're friends from a few years back, and I really enjoy getting to, anytime that we get to hang out and do a little plinking, and he is an awesome shot. It is so cool watching him do what he does in person. It's neat. I always love watching somebody who is really good at whatever their hobby or their craft or their sport is perform and do well. It's cool. Let's see here. Plinkster22. I shot with him too. The last time I went out to Hickok 45's range, he had 22 Plinkster out there, and he is freaking insane. He is a beast with that 22, and it's a nice little 22. His oh shoot, what is that little Colt that he has? I can't remember what it's called right now, but the Woodsman, that's what it is. And all the tricks that he does in his videos, he was just busting out a bunch of different tricks just right in front of us. He really is a great shot. And I know he gives this caveat once in a while that, or a disclaimer rather, that sometimes it takes him a few tries to get a shot, but I don't think he gives himself enough credit. He is really a spectacular marksman, and it is so cool watching him just like pull all these neat trick shots that I don't know that I'll ever be able to accomplish. Ah, yes, the Colt Woodsman, yes. And I have shot his Colt Woodsman a little bit, and it is beautiful. I love it. Any more plans to do video on your AR Bruce? Have you done any upgrades? I recently put on a vertical foregrip and a new Magpul, I think it's the KOE grip, but I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not really digging how they're working for me, so I think I'm going to end up taking them off and putting something else on. Actually, I'm not sure that I'll put any vertical foregrips because the way that my rails are set up right now is there is just like a tiny little 2-inch rail on the bottom near the muzzle. So if I'm going to use a vertical foregrip, it's like um, I'm here at the handguard and then whoosh, way out here, and I don't prefer to shoot in that method. It doesn't feel comfortable for me to have my arm like way out and extended. I'd rather have it in close to my body. I seem to manage recoil better when I shoot that way, so I'll probably end up taking off that vertical foregrip. But somebody sent it to me and I really wanted to try it out. It didn't work out for me. Not for how my rifle's set up anyway. I have shot rifles with vertical foregrips that I totally loved. Like in that M16 Reloaded video that I published just recently. One of the full auto ARs had a vertical foregrip, and it was awesome. Actually, it was super helpful in trying to keep that rifle steady during that full auto fire. That thing kicks out rounds at like, was it like 1,200 rounds a minute or something ridiculous like that? Partly because it's got that can on the end. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Have I tried the Magpul angled foregrip? I have on a couple of rifles, just a few rounds through it. I'm not like in love with it, but I guess I don't hate it. I don't know that I'd go and spend money to put one on my rifle, because I wasn't so pleased with its performance. I end up adopting more often than not a grip on the mag. It just seems to work well for me. But I've still got a lot to learn as far as like rifle shooting goes. Not that I don't have things to learn on pistol shooting. I definitely have things to learn on pistol shooting too, but my rifle game is far behind of my pistol game. I just end up shooting a lot more handguns because it's more convenient. I'd love to watch Hickok 45, Dustin Ellerman, and 22 Plinkster have some sort of like crazy shoot off. They are far beyond my level of marksmanship, but they're tons of fun to watch. They can all shoot just as well as you see, in videos or in Dustin's case on television. And I admire their ability and the time and dedication that they've had to their sport to get to that point. I think it's inspirational. It makes me want to become a better marksman. And plus, it's just really cool to see them pull off these awesome shots. And I say we, meaning Hickok, 22 Plinkster, myself, and Military Arms Channel, and TN Outdoors 9, when we had that event with the group of us over at that Hickok graciously hosted, he was really considerate, and he didn't want to have any kind of like competition between us. I mean, we recognized from watching each other shoot, some of us are just plain better shooters, and he was gracious enough not to try to set up some sort of competition and publish it that might make somebody look like less capable of a shooter and like damage their credibility or something. Like, they're just really friendly and really considerate about that. He said that having people out to shoot wasn't about who's the better shot. It was about being friends and enjoying the shooting sports together. So he tried to make it as friendly and welcoming of an environment as possible, and I think he did a wonderful job of that. And I really enjoyed the time around them, and I think more so because of it. I mean, obviously, it's intimidating to go out and shoot with people who, outclass you in their abilities. But the fact that they're such nice people and down to earth, even though I was intimidated when I first met them, it quickly evaporated because I couldn't help but to enjoy their company. They're all really nice, each one of them. Dustin too, even though he wasn't at that particular shooting event. All right, let me get caught up on comments here. If you could meet any famous person, who would it be and why? Oh, that is a tough question. Oh, by the way, we only have 4 minutes left in this chat. So let me, if on the off chance I get cut off like I like I got cut off last week, let me just wrap up a little bit here. Next week, I'm going to do this same thing. We'll have a chat at 7 p.m. Central Time, so it will be on this particular live stream, new.livestream.com/FateofDestinee's, because this seems to be working out better. I mean, from the feedback I was getting from you guys earlier. And seeing as how this seems to be going so well, I'd love it if you guys would share the event on your Facebooks and have some more people join the conversation. Also, I'm really excited about the release of Young Guns TV. We'll be going live in about 3 days, so head over to younggunstv.com and check it out and count down with me because I cannot wait. They have some really cool stuff that's going to be going public when that site goes live. And I hope you guys like it, and I really hope that you check out some of the content and give us some feedback. Some of my videos will be publishing only to Young Guns, so if you're interested in seeing all the content that I generate, I would highly recommend staying tuned to Fate of Destiny on YouTube, All Things Destinee on YouTube for any of the stuff that doesn't make it to Fate of Destiny, and then Young Guns. I do have a few vids, also speaking of All Things Destinee, I have a few vids that are, I'm finishing the production, or the post-production on them, and they will be going live for All Things Destinee. Some behind-the-scenes stuff, a couple of vlogs, so more things about my life. If you're, so if you were interested in that kind of insider content, stay tuned to All Things Destinee as well as Fate of Destiny. And I hope you tune in for Thursday's video and next week's live stream, because I am having a blast with these. I really enjoy chatting with all you guys in this real-time format. It is super cool. And I've been able to answer a lot of questions, and the discussion has been great. So thank you, all you guys, for coming and participating, especially some of you who, are participating from foreign nations, and, all of you in different time zones, or just anybody who has taken the time out of their schedule to sit down for a few minutes to talk with me. I really appreciate it, and I enjoy it. And, about last week's live stream video, I have not been able to make it work to put it up on YouTube, so it's not going to go on YouTube. I will be trying, though, to get this one up on YouTube as soon as I can. So if it takes a day or two, please, be patient. I will be working to get that up. But last week's video is just kind of a bust. It doesn't want to work for me, so. I guess thanks again for everybody tuning in. I hope to see you next week. So, thank you. Stay tuned.